Have you ever walked through aisles of the grocery store and been confused by all the different gluten-free options popping up everywhere? Have you ever wondered what gluten is and why everyone seems to be trying to avoid it? If you have, you're definitely not alone. I was also the same way until my husband and I decided to begin cutting gluten from our diets. We have spoken to dietitians, doctors, and researched what it means to be gluten-free. Gluten can be cut from your diet because it makes you sick or simply because you want to put healthier products into your body. Today I'll be discussing what gluten is, why you should cut it from your diet, and the health benefits from doing so. Like I've explained in my previous speech, gluten is a glue-like protein that is found in many products, including wheat, barley, rye, also hair products and animal food. It gives elasticity and chewiness to foods. In people with celiac disease, their small intestine is unable to digest this protein. For these people, around 1% of our population, this protein is life-threatening, and only a trace will make them very sick. They simply cannot put it into their bodies. But what about the rest of us? We can also benefit from cutting gluten from our diets, or at the very least, reducing it. Gluten has not always been in our diets. Many scientists believe our bodies were not made to be able to absorb this compound. George Dvorsky, a Canadian and bioethicist and activist, states, in the 1950s, scientists began crossbreeding wheat to make it hardier, shorter, and better growing. This crossbreeding introduced some compounds to wheat that are not entirely human-friendly. Gluten is now being blamed for the onset of health conditions such as obesity, heart disease, and digestive problems. Dr. Arthur Agustin, who is the medical director of wellness and prevention for Baptist Health of Southern Florida, states, "We're in a state of gluten overload. Millions of people of all walks and ages are suffering as a result of this condition that was recognized only years ago." Dr. William Davis, who is a cardiologist and author of Wheat Belly, Lose the Weight, and Find Your Path Back to Health, states, "Today's hybridized wheat contains sodium iodide, which is a known toxin. It contains novel proteins which aren't typically found in either parent or plant, some of which are difficult for us to digest. Once you eliminate or reduce your gluten intake, you can immediately feel the benefits. During the Tour de France, the team Garmin Slipstream limited their intake of inflammatory foods. Gluten was obviously at the top of this list. Wheat is an inflammatory food which is converted to sugar, causing a rise in insulin levels. It also is not completely absorbed by the body, so it begins to ferment, producing gas and bloating. By reducing their gluten, the team performed better and had more stamina. Hannah Efreni, doctor and author from Active Network, states, "Limiting your gluten can minimize stomach problems and lead to better digestion and absorption of food." She specifically speaks of health benefits for athletes and how this can improve exercise and perform your overall well-being. There is a huge list of health benefits from reducing gluten from your foods, some of which include decreased cholesterol, decreased hyperglycemic reactions, weight loss, less bloating, decreased allergic reactions, less highly acidic blood, fewer cases of diabetes, and decreased cases of heart disease. I have explained to you what gluten is, why you should cut it from your diet, and the health benefits from doing so. By being conscious of your gluten intake, you can feel better and lead a healthier, more active life. I can tell you from personal experience that eliminating your gluten intake is a much better way to live.